Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of HRD 633. And my goal for today is to be as brief as I possibly can. So with that said, let's get right to week number 2. But before we get to week number 2, I'd just like to thank everybody for actively participating in week number 1. As you know, we had a discussion where you introduced yourself, and then we discussed some ideas with chapters 1 and 2. And I have to say, I was energized by the discussions, and today is Saturday, so for those that haven't participated and they haven't done the introduction, you still have time this week. As you know, the week ends on Sunday, but if you can't get it done, if you have some crazy week and Sunday comes and goes and you really want to participate, you want to get credit for it, Monday at the absolute latest would be fine. But once again, if you participate, especially with your initial post on Monday of the following week, or even Saturday, if you do your initial post on Saturday, a lot of the classes moved on, because ideally I'd like everybody to get their initial posts done on Wednesday, by the end of the day Wednesday, and then comment on a couple others before the end of the week. So that's ideal, but sometimes I understand things just happen and you're crazy at work, whatever it might be, you're traveling, you have a sick family member. And so things do happen. I understand that. So even though maybe you've missed the deadline on Sunday, feel free to if you can, circle back and do it as after the week officially ends. So thank you for the discussions and the introductions. I really love the discussions on the chapters 1 and 2. Keep those questions coming and keep on questioning. For some of us that have been in many different organizational settings, the textbook may be perfect. It may summarize your beliefs and worldviews on leadership, but it might not. You might disagree. We're going to have plenty of opportunities for you to write about it and discuss your ideas and where you think even the textbook is falling down, because that's not how it happens in real world. And I'm not saying that the textbook isn't great. I think it is an excellent textbook, but you feel free to disagree with it also. So that's week number 1. Now let's get to week number 2. The first thing I'd like to mention is in week number 2, we go into small groups. And what I noticed I'm going to click on this, those that have signed up. So we come in here and I have to hit one more click. So we're going to have 3 groups. Group number 1, group number 2, group number 3. When you go on to the discussion forum for this week, actually we have it for this week, you will see you have the option to join 1, 2, or 3. So I really would like somebody that maybe has signed up somewhere other than for, just say, and I'm not picking on you, Jen, but just say Jen signed up for week number 5. If we could get somebody to volunteer to be part of group number 3. Now you probably know this doesn't mean that group 1 is going to be made up of all of these people. It's only how the people sign up. For those that show up quickly, they sign up for group 1, 2, or 3. And you may not, this maybe will be the makeup of group 1, but it probably won't be. So all I'm looking for is a group leader or a summarizer. You don't have to be the leader. You're just one that will summarize the group activity. And I'll have some more information on this coming up. So that is something I'd like everybody to take a look at. And if you can, sign up for the group summary person for week number 2, I would appreciate that. Week number 2 video, I'm recording it as we speak. Week number 2, this is really the things to do this week. And what we're looking at in week number 2 is this whole idea between organizations have a structure, and we call it the structural frame. For those that's ever looked at organizational charts, you probably have seen something like what's over here. Okay, the big person is, just say in the university setting, there's the president of the university, and then, or this could be the provost, then you have the university presidents, then you have all the way down through the rank and file of the people that work in effect for the top person. And some of you have worked for organizations that have many layers. Some of you have worked in organizations that don't have many layers, which is referred to as a flat organizational chart or a flat organization. There's just not a lot of layers. I worked for the state for 30 years, for 20 years, and in that we had 3 different divisions in the area I worked, and I can tell you the one division that was made up of the Maine Forest Rangers, which, for those that keep on top of the news, there's I think 12 of them out in California right now fighting wildfires. They have a different structure than the division that I was in. The division that I was in was just, it looked different, it felt different, but once again, the Forest Rangers are really on the enforcement. They are law enforcement and firefighting side of things, so they are going to have a different structure than the management division that I was in. Worked for Stanley Tools for a number of years. We had a different structure. So take a look at this. That's what we're going to be looking at this week. The course goals for the week, outcomes to do. Take a look at the materials, reflect on them. One thing I wanted to mention, last week we had a couple of problems with some of the links. If you do have a problem with the link, and I went through each and every one of these and they work, this is a new one that I put in. It may take you, this could be a hyperlink that works, but if it doesn't work, just, copy and paste it into your browser and it works just fine. So, but that said, if you run into a link that you just can't make work, please shoot me an email. Organizational charts. We get into mission statements this week, which I'm sure some of you have worked with organizations that have their mission statements all around the offices, or it could be the virtual office, or it could be the physical office, but they have their mission statements. And it could be a vision. There's a difference between the vision and a mission statement. So please take a look at, all of the materials that I put in here. And once again, they all worked. But if you find otherwise, let me know. I'd like you to read chapters 3 through 5 and participate in the online discussion. Finally, we are going to have an optional Zoom meeting next Thursday, January 30th at 6:30 p.m. If you cannot make it, don't worry. I will record the meeting that we have, and I will post it the next day. One person shows up, 2, 5, 10, it really doesn't matter to me. I'd be happy to review the syllabus. I will briefly talk about the assignments that we're going to have in the course, but I also am interested in any questions that you bring to the table. Anything you want to critique also. You might think that this whole idea between the structural frame is BS. Bring that to the table, and I will moderate a discussion on that. But once again, everybody is invited. It's not like I keep track of who shows up and who doesn't show up. 6:30 on January 30th, which is Thursday, and I'll try to be online by 6:25 at the latest, and we'll go from there. So that's it for me. 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. That's always a goal of mine. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. And what I'm really interested in, one of the things, this is a class of seasoned pros, people that have worked, people that have been in school, people that have been in the adult and higher ed program for a while, etc. So bring your own views to the table. I hope as we move forward, one of the things I did read in the discussion forums were people bring particular interest to the table, what they want to know more about, what they want to learn about. And I will say publicly, there will be opportunities, especially through 2 of the assignments, for you to explore areas that you're really concerned about, or not concerned, but you really want to learn more about and or enhance your skills surrounding it. So we have plenty of opportunities to do that this semester. So thanks for everybody for being, dialed in for week number 1. Sometimes week number 1 can be kind of crazy. I know we have people in the class that are involved with higher ed, and it's just a busy time. Getting going in the spring semester or any semester brings a whole bunch of challenges. So that's it for me. We'll see you online, everybody, and hopefully I see you on Thursday. But if not, don't worry about it. I will record and post it the next day. Bye.